Hi, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Today is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. Hit that promo, Leo.
Yeah, I'm a big fish, small pond, days free and the night's long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. I'm a believer, I'm as what it means as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Oh, who I am. It's fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to our show. We're so glad you're here. Today, as we said, is Tuesday, April 30th. Wow, April flew by. So we are on the cusp of 1 month and going into another. We also astrologically have had lots of things happen. We're going from Aries season to soon it will be Taurus season. Is it already Taurus season? It might already be Taurus season. I think so. Yes. Anyway, lots of stuff going on. Danielle Alexandria Alchemy has joined us. Hi, Dee. Happy Tuesday, friends. It was so great seeing some of you this week at the Genius Show. Leo, we need you to come out to New York soon. Yes. Danielle wanted to take a picture so badly and have Billy FaceTime you from a bunch of us went to see Lynn Portis Genius at Casarianos in Long Island, in Mineola, Long Island, and it was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be magnificent, and it was not just magnificent, but a wonderful, huge party of strangers that came together for one common thing, and the common thing was that we all love Lynn Portis, and it was just wonderful. And she played songs that we all knew and sang along to, and we got delicious food. I highly recommend that restaurant. It's on 358, I believe, East Jericho Turnpike in Mineola. And it's just a really nice place. And the owner, his name is Danny. What a sweetheart. What a sweetheart. When you meet the owner and the owner is a nice person, you know that your experience is going to be good. The waiters were amazing. Everything was incredible. And then Lynn Portis's husband, Joe Brennan, who I love. I am the president of the Joe Brennan fan club. And he was there and he was setting up and doing amazing things. And it was fabulous. Lynn is fantastic and you guys are the best. So are you, Danielle. We had such a nice time. And Danielle is a vegan and there were options for vegan, like vegan options as well. So, you don't have to be someone that, eats everything in the world plus yours and someone else's like me. I will eat everyone's food. I'm on a tear, by the way. I am been on a tear. I have to get back on my diet. Rena Crugnali Bergie, hello and happy Tuesday. It's not happy Tuesday unless you join us, Rena. Lynn Portis, hi, honey. Lynn, we were just talking about you, Lynn Portis. Genius. Michael Rodriguez, she sure is fantastic. I agree, sir. That is Michael Rodriguez from the Master Elf fame. Michael Rodriguez, Dr. Michael Rodriguez. And Michael does his organization. Master Elf does amazing things for children in need. And shout out to Michael. We love him. He's been on the show and we'll bring him back on the show around the holidays. Hi, Lynn and Rena. Excuse me. I've had this awful cough. So Danielle and Lynn finally met each other. That was one of my goals to have them meet because they're two people that I just knew were going to totally connect. And they did. And it was wonderful. And the music was great. And people just got up. Lynn did most of the singing, which was great because it was Lynn's show. But she called a few of us up from time to time and we sang a song or two. But what was so great about it were there were also people that had never sung with Lynn from like there was a group of that one of Lynn's high school buddies brought, like a group of 10. And a couple, someone from their table, a couple people got up and sang. It was just amazing. So it was a really good time. And, tonight's show is all about supporting the arts. Like you don't have to be a professional singer, songwriter, musician, actor, teacher, whatever, to support the arts. You just have to be someone that enjoys listening and enjoys laughing and enjoys all that stuff. Oh my God. Julie Angelina has joined us. Julie, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh my God. Hi, honey. Julie is Italian, but she lives in Australia. And that's a whole new thing. Julie, there's these 3 comedians, these Italian guys that I've been following. They're Australian and they're so funny because they're very much like your humor. Their parents are from Italy, but they have those really wonderful Australian accents. So Julie Angelina, hi honey, hi baby, so good to see you. Julie is an amazing chef, an Italian goddess, and so maybe we can have Julie on the show sometime. Julie, I would love it if we could get you on the show sometime. Let me know, honey. Look at your Tuesdays. I don't know what time it is out there. Are you ahead? Way ahead? It might be about 11 in the morning in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Lori Towers, our friend Lori Towers, wish we were there. I know, you can't be everywhere. That's the thing. You cannot be everywhere. I know I fall into that myself. But we had a wonderful time. We were talking about you guys a lot. So I think your ears were ringing or whatever they call it. Palms were itchy. What does Lynn said? Were your ears burning? Something like that. Thank you, Lynn. Okay. Oh, it's 9 a.m. in Australia. How cool is this platform, though? That we are coming to you live from, so I guess that's 12 hours because it's 9:09 p.m. in New York. And wow, that's so cool. And I believe Australia is ahead of us. I think they're the first ones to celebrate New Year's, something like that, right? Anyway, Julie, let me know. You private message me. Let me know if there's a Tuesday that you would like to zoom in, my love. What a joy it would be to have you. I'd love to be on your show. I'd love to have you on my show. Julie is like the Sophia Loren of the modern day from Australia. She's gorgeous and funny and mega Italian. Energy hugs for you for now, Lori. Yes, we love Lori. It's Wednesday morning. Okay, so this whole virtual world that we live in now, right? A lot of people are like, man, I'm not really crazy about it. But I got to tell you, there are lots of benefits to it. And one of the things that happened during COVID is that we all started to really connect virtually, right? And because we were just stuck, and what else were we going to do? So our friend Sarah Glassman and Josh Bennett were 2 of those people. They're best friends. They're musicians. And they started to do these lives from their apartment and just, sing songs and things like that. And that was, 4 years ago. And then, when everything lifted, they went into they went back into their worlds where they work at different clubs and sing and do all that. But last night they did a show at Green Room 42, which I got to tell you, it's starting to be like my favorite room in the city. And there's so many great rooms in the city, and some of them are pretty new, like Chelsea Table and Stage is another great room that's pretty new, and a lot of people are doing shows there. But they did their show there, and one of the things that I love about these new kind of born from COVID, right, is that a lot of these rooms are doing virtual tickets now, which all was started during COVID. A lot of people were doing shows outside, and then you could buy a virtual ticket for like, $20 or 25, whatever the virtual ticket cost. But for someone like me, it was well worth it because, first of all, the beauty of the virtual ticket is you buy a ticket. Let's say the show starts at 9:30. They send you a link, but you have up to 24 hours to watch it. So like I couldn't watch it last night. I was in the middle of doing a million things that I couldn't get out of. And the beauty of it was that today I was able to go to my computer, click on my virtual ticket, type in my passcode, and bam, I got to see my friends in a show that's beautifully recorded and archived. It's really nice. So I really, really, really enjoyed it. And then you can stop and start, like, things happen. The doorbell rings, or, whatever. You need to stop, and you can stop it and start it again. So I highly recommend, if you are someone that's either in a different state, or if you're someone that can't get to a show that night, to buy a virtual ticket, because you're still supporting the club who's filming the actual performance, and you're still supporting the performers, because I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they do get a portion of that. I don't know how much of that they get, but they do get a portion. And it's a really, like, the one at Green Room 42 is a super high quality. And oh, thank you, Leo. That's why I love Leo. Leo's so great. So as I was scrolling, some of one of the things that they do is they start the virtual, when you get a virtual ticket, it's like 30 minutes of advertisements, right? Now you can fast forward through that if you like. I like to see what pops up, like if you watch it later on. And one of lots of shows popped up, but the show that got my attention is this Broadway Sessions, which our friend Ben Cameron is the host of. And I believe it's May 9th, if I'm not mistaken. So one of the things that I would suggest doing in your spare time is going to Green Room 42, which is located on 42nd Street, in the Yotel Hotel, and looking at all of the shows that they have. Even if you're out of state or it's a night you can't go, buy a virtual ticket. You'd be surprised how entertaining even just watching something on a screen is, because it makes you feel like you're there. And it's really cool. You get to see people do what they do best. So I was really trying to get Ben Cameron on the show tonight, but it was a very last minute thing because, the Tony nominations came out today. And Ben Cameron is all about Broadway. I mean, he does Broadway Sessions. And also he's an amazing performer, amazing, and director and choreographer and all those things. And I really wanted to get his take on it, but it was last minute that I asked. Now, one of the things about Broadway shows is, as much as I love Broadway shows, because I also work nights, I am not always able to go to a lot of them, especially before the Tonys. But usually after the Tonys, I try to, Sundays and Thursdays are my days off, right? I mean, well, not Thursdays, I teach during the day, but at night I can go. So I try to catch as many shows as I can, but it's hard. It's very hard to jam everything in. So what I'm putting out there, if anybody that's typing in has seen any Broadway shows that this season that are up for nominations, please type in a show that you saw and let us know what you think. Because I know, like, people like John Bronston and Frank Zahn, they go to more shows than anyone I've ever met. And I talked to them. I talked to John today too, was texting with John about seeing if he wanted to zoom in. And he said they were going to a birthday party tonight. But this is what he sent me. Well, you know what? Maybe we should read. I think it would be okay to read some of the nominees, right? Okay, so Leo, if you don't mind, honey bunny. So even if you're out of town and you're like, I don't know any of those shows, here are the Broadway. We might not read all of it, but best musical, Hell's Kitchen. What's Hell's Kitchen about, people? Now, Hell's Kitchen is the nickname they call the streets in Manhattan on the west side between, I'm going to say, maybe 38 and 57, maybe. And anyway, so that's the name for it, right? Now, Hell's Kitchen, this particular show, the music is by Alicia Keys, and it's the story of her life. And from what I hear, and my friend Dana Nicholson, who used to live in New York, he was my next door neighbor, great singer. He now lives in Wisconsin, but he's back this week just to connect with friends and see shows. And he saw Hell's Kitchen and absolutely loved it. So that is one of the musicals that is nominated. But let's see what else, Leo, if you don't mind blowing that up for me again, because I'm trying to pull up this. I have the list too, but So anyway, but okay, Hell's Kitchen, Illinois, which I don't know anything about. I'm ashamed to say I don't know anything about, but it's obviously nominated for a Tony, so it must be pretty good. The Outsiders. Do you remember when we were kids that book, The Outsiders, and then became a movie? I mean, I read everything that.
Matt
Remember,
Dillon.
Leo? Did you read that book as a kid?
Oh, I read the book. I read and then saw it. All the boys were in that movie.
I was so crazy about that series of books that she wrote. I want to say Eliot was it?
T.S. Eliot.
Right. Thank you. Thank
He
you.
also wrote Tex, I believe, which is also a Matt Dillon film.
Yeah. What I mean, as a teenager, boy, did I love those books.
And when
And
that movie came out, all the boys that were in that movie.
Right? Now, okay, speaking of, this is so great because this leads right into, so this is, speaking of banned books, right? All this crazy stuff that's happening with banned books now, which is utterly disgusting. That would have been one of those books that if today people had their way, I bet it's on the banned book list because it's about teenagers and them finding themselves in a rough and tumble way. And coming of age, and I bet that would have been one of those books. By the way, I stumbled upon a documentary on PBS about fascism, and I was literally, my blood went cold at the similarities between Hitler's regime and what people are trying to do here that are right now.
Even in the rise to power, that
Wow. I mean, it was almost like a reincarnation. I thought, this is incredible. So I can't remind you enough, folks. Please register to vote. I'm sure most of you are registered, but ask your friends if they are. Ask young people if they are. Ask your neighbors, someone that's just moved, if they're registered. And it's super easy. Vote.org. So let's continue with this list. Let me see. Yes, thank you, John. Say it. No, I'm telling you, John, I'm preaching to the choir. I need the book. It's a great book. It's a great book. The Outsiders. I read it as a kid, but Julie, I think it would be just as entertaining now. And you have sons, so I think you'll really appreciate it.
And I believe the composer of that is Adam Rapp from I'm gonna look it up right now, but the best of the Outsiders was
wow.
Adam Rapp, and Adam Rapp, I believe that's Adam Rapp from Rent, right?
Oh my God, that's right. Are you kidding me? I didn't know. You see, I am so out of the loop with these Broadway shows.
Sound design for musical.
Lori says, vote like your rights depend on it, because they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Why would you? Whatever. Okay. Let me see. So The Outsiders, Suffs, which I knew nothing about until this week. Suffs is about the suffragette movement. In 1920, women got the right to vote. Do you believe that? Before 1920, title, what do they call that? They called it the ninth. It was one of the amendments at 19th Amendment, the women's right to vote. But so here's what's so great about Suffs. Suffs has gotten not only amazing reviews, it's even though it was over 100 years ago. Think about how long it's been that women are fighting for their rights still, and how apropos it is that this musical would be happening now. And guess who one of the producers is? Hillary Clinton. And you know how I love my Hillary. And I know there's a lot of stuff right now going around and all that stuff, but I love my Hillary and I appreciate everything she's done.
she's not on trial, so she's fine.
No, I know, but a lot of this stuff in the news now, people are just targeting whoever.
Yeah, that's because they're mad at themselves for not being smart. That's why.
Yep. So
that's my opinion.
So anyway, but Suffs is on my list. Actually, and Water for Elephants, taken from the book and the movie. And Water for Elephants is supposed to be beautiful. So these are all amazing. If you're in town, you're visiting New York. Yeah, so there it is. Hell's Kitchen, Illinois, Outsiders, Suffs, The Outsiders, Suffs, and Water for Elephants. Those
What
are
is
your
Water
best.
for Elephants about? What is that one?
Oh my God, I saw it so long ago.
It reminds me of. Do you remember the story Hills Like White Elephants? It was a short story. By the man that wrote Old Man of the Sea. Sorry, John Pietero, help me out there.
Oh,
Hills Like White Elephants. And it's about the man and the woman talking about the choice that she has to make or that she has made. And I remember reading it like one of the very first short stories that I learned in high school, and then also reading and studying the play. But
right.
that's what it reminded me of. Hemingway, thank you.
Yeah.
Hemingway that wrote it, and it's about her choice about a woman's choice. It's pretty much what it's about. So I wondered if is that what it is? Is that what Water for Elephants
You know,
is?
I like I said, I saw it so long ago. I'd have to revisit it. And today, like I was just, we got up early and me and Judy, and it came on New York One, and I was like, oh my God, it's Tony's Day. And so I printed out the list, and for someone who lives in New York and loves New York and loves the
Hey,
art,
it's Tony's Day.
it's Tony's Day. It's a big deal. I wore my New York City shirt today. But if you're in the city or you're going to make a trip, I believe the Tonys are June 7th. They're usually the first Sunday in June. And but try and see as many shows as you can before the Tonys, because then you'll recognize everyone in it. And it's okay if you don't get to all of them, because then you can see it after the Tonys. It's just that a lot of those actors, they move on and do other things.
Hey, Danielle, if you ask me, all romance is a circus.
Oh, it's about a circus romance, if I remember correctly. Yes, heard it's a great play, and now they've turned it into a musical. Hey, Nancy Pizzotti, what's up? Hi, honey. Nancy and I went to high school together. Nancy is a great singer and a huge Barbra Streisand fan. Now, Nancy, you got to look behind me. This is my girlfriend. I got a shout out to my cousin Steve. Well, Steve, who married my cousin Rosa, but I love them both. He made these. I ordered these cornhole games, like outdoor cornhole games for my girlfriend last year. After she bought her house. And I said, can you make Barbra Streisand ones? Because he said I can put anything on. And he did. But now Judy loves them so much that they are not going in the yard. They are on the wall. So, Steve, if you're watching, artwork, baby. You created some artwork.
So we just got to throw it at the wall? Is that how we play the game? When
You know what? We might. Julie Angelina says she has to run, my darling. Yes, Julie, run and do what you got to do. But please look at your calendar and give me a couple of options for Tuesdays, and we will have you Zoom in. I can't wait to see you on the screen. How much fun is that going to be?
Judy must kill. I know Judy just freaked when she heard me say that. Why don't we just throw the things at the wall?
No, you don't understand how clean Julie is. The reason, and she said, I don't want anybody throwing anything at Barbara's face. That's why they're not on the ground. Okay, so Danielle says, can't throw things at Barbara. No, thank you, unless it's one of the many favorite foods.
I would throw things at her. There's a hole there.
Well, you can't. You don't understand. It's off limits. It's on the wall. But, okay, so we got our best musical, best play. Jaja's African Hair Braiding, Mary Jane, Mother Play, which is getting like rave reviews, Prayer for the French Republic, and Stereophonic, which I was listening to Frank Delella this morning, and that got so many nominations. And what it's about, John and Lori, I think you'll appreciate this. It's about a band in the 70s and a studio session and all the things that can possibly happen there. But it's gotten great reviews. So those are some of the highlights, and then some of the people that were nominated. Leslie Odom Jr. in Purely Victorious, Liev Schreiber in Doubt. I mean, some of the people that you will know, Rachel McAdams in Mary Jane, Best Leading Actress in a Play, Jessica Lange in Mother Play, and Sarah, amazing. still, and she's still gorgeous. Sarah Paulson, Inappropriate. And I think a couple of people in that were nominated. Best Leading Actor in a Musical, Brody Grant, The Outsiders, Jonathan Groff, Merrily We Roll Along, Dorian Harewood, The Notebook, and one of my favorite performers of all time, Brian Darcy James, Days of Wine and Roses.
Oh,
And
wow.
then Eddie Redmayne in Cabaret. Now, have you ever seen the movie Days of Wine and Roses with Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick?
Oh, a long time ago. My mom was. I may have watched it with my mom or something.
Well, I mean, the play now is closed, but it did get nominated. But if you get a chance, if you're an old movie buff, go and watch Days of Wine and Roses. You will. It is an old movie that will blow your mind. It's so well written, and so yeah, I love the song. Yes, Lynn, you're right, and I can hear it in my head now. It's so beautiful. But Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick. Oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful. Rizzo, do you want to join me, or are you just being a little pain in the butt here?
We also got to mention one of my favorite playwrights, Ibsen, has An Enemy of the People up, who is also starring David Patrick Kelly, which is in our Andy Prasky's movie that's going to be re-released like momentarily on Amazon and Cheap Shots 1988 or Cheap Shots.
And
So
he's
if you
in
guys see-
that?
David Patrick Kelly is in that.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
he is in the revival of An Enemy of the People, and I'm not sure if he's gotten. I don't think he's nominated for an award, but I know that he's been mentioned because that play is pretty. I mean, that play is an amazing play. I love
Oh
it.
my God. So let's see. But and again, if anybody would like to type in if they've seen any shows, I'm gonna read, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna take a minute because I want to read. I asked my my friend Dana Nicholson what he saw, because he's the kind of guy that comes to town, comes back in from Wisconsin. Speaking of Wisconsin, Bell Parker stopped here for a minute. And Dana was telling, okay, so Dana said, these are his recommendations. Okay. I thought Hell's Kitchen was great. And Uncle Vanya was also good. But my
Oh, that's a
favorite,
great play.
yeah. But my
Check out.
favorite got snubbed in that Great Gatsby. So he loved the Great Gatsby. He went to see it. It only got nominated for best costumes.
Yeah,
And he went to see it twice. That's how much he loved it. Well, he was only here a week and he went to see it twice. So you can just imagine. And so those were his favorite things. But he said the sets are absolutely beautiful and it moves so well. It's visually gorgeous. I'm also a sucker for the Roaring Twenties. But
my lovely Danielle asked about Harmony, but I do not see any nominations for her.
no, and you know what's so sad? So Harmony, if people don't know what that is the Barry Manilow wrote the music for a show called Harmony. And everybody that saw it absolutely loved it. But it closed. It just didn't sell a lot of tickets, which is so sad. And it closed like really quickly. So nobody got to see it, which is really sad. Rizzo, come here. Come here.
Have you seen the Cabaret yet? At the I love the way they changed the name for it.
The Cabaret at the
The Kit Kat Club, but I also love that. To me, is what theater is.
Yeah.
When you can change the space
Yeah.
and you can make it something different, so that what I learned at mise en scène. So the environment that you're going into, you're engulfed in it. You're not just in a chair watching a show,
Right,
but
right.
you're engulfed in this situation. Which
Well,
is
that's
what
like
I
your
love.
show. That's like your show. Broken Moments is like an interactive kind of it surrounds you. It's like a surround theater kind of thing.
Yeah.
And although some people did not give that show a good review, which, you know, sometimes certain reviewers can really like destroy something, and I don't always get it. Like, you know what I mean? Speaking of reviews, just to divert from this Tony thing for a little bit, and then to go back to it. Did anybody see the Correspondence Dinner roast Colin Joe. Oh, is it Colin Jost?
I'm still laughing.
Oh my God. So if you have not seen it, go to YouTube and type in Colin Jost and just watch the Correspondence Dinner Roast. He is so funny. And I thought it was wonderful. And everybody loved it. The New York Times, which is my favorite paper, I get it delivered every day, said it was okay. And I thought, like, are we all watching the same thing? Because
Mhm.
everybody I know loved it. I don't know. I don't know sometimes,
Many people came off of it. I loved it. I thought they were both funny, telling jokes, especially Biden hitting on himself about age and such.
Yes, he was
Um,
great.
I everybody, everybody sees what they want to see, and
Yeah.
so the pundits that I were watching were just like, "Well, it was a great big endorsement," and a lot of people didn't see it as an endorsement. They saw it as somebody, and he reminded me of the great Don Rickles, the way that Colin did his delivery. He and not so aspect like so quick and such, but insult, jab, 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 and then you know what? I'm jabbing with you, but you're a great human being, and that's why we're here.
Right.
And that was classy to me. That was old school
Yes.
classy.
Yes.
And anybody that didn't like it can,
I mean, look, whoever your president is that's sitting there, you have to roast them, right? But you also have to lift them up.
mhm.
So you're gonna, that's gonna come out in many different ways. That's not an easy job. You know what my favorite line of his was, where he was addressing President Biden, Dr. Jill Biden. Then he says, Vice President Kamala Harris. And he goes, and Doug.
Doug.
It was so cute. And then he says, listen, Doug, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have everybody wants to really just meet your wife. I get it. Because he's married to Scarlett Johansson.
ScarJo.
So I just thought that was so cute. He's like, Doug, I know all about it. Most of the time people just want to get to me so they can meet my wife. And I thought that was so cool.
He had one joke that he just timed out perfectly. I mean, he did a lot of them, but one of them he said something about L time. Then he looked slowly at Biden. He was like, "You remember you were there," and then he went back to it was
Yeah, it was like about 1902 or something.
Yeah.
The Civil War. It was so funny. And Biden laughed. Listen, you got to laugh at this stuff. You know
You
what I
have to
mean?
laugh at yourself, whether you're a small peon in the world like me or the president of the United States. You
Leo,
gotta laugh at yourself.
you are not a peon. I'm
I
going to
mean,
see if
comparatively in the world, you just
well, yeah.
anybody laugh at yourself.
I know. I thought it was wonderful. I loved it, loved it, loved it. So Carlos Knott has joined us. Donna Federico Ramirez. Hey, Donna, what's up? Donna grew up in the North End like me. Barry Silber has joined. Donna is a great, amazing chef. So you follow her. She's amazing. Um, yes, Days of Wine and Roses. Oh my God. Listen, please do yourself a favor. If you're stuck in the house for a night or you want something to do that you shan't regret, it's an old black and white. What's the matter, Leo? Watch Days of
Seven
Wine and
hundred
Roses.
dollars a ticket for no offense, Eddie. What Danielle said.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's
700.
nice.
See, that's the thing with these Broadway shows. But like today we were pricing I forget what we were pricing, but it was only $200. And I thought that for orchestra seats, that's reasonable. Or you can get a balcony seat for $100 or
I'll
something.
tell you what, Broken Moments was $15 and a 2-drink minimum.
I know. Well, we're
Just
talking
letting you
about
know.
Broadway. It's a great show, but I'm talking about Broadway shows. But one of the things, the tricks, because I used to, in my early days, when I first moved here in the early 90s, there's a trick to if you're like a single seat or even two people, right before the show starts. So like, let's say the show starts at 8, get there at 5 to 8, walk up to the box office and say, what do you got? For the most part, they will sell you a $30 or $50 ticket. They'll put you way, way up in the balcony. And then when the show starts, the usher comes and gets you and pulls you all the way down where there are empty seats. And I did that so many times. I can't tell you, where I would pay like $32 for a seat. They put you up and then they go, come on down. And you come all the way down. And then you get these amazing seats because last minute, not all the seats are sold and they want to fill the house. So that's a good trick.
I wonder if I can do that in Costa Mesa, June 1st.
Oh, you mean you're going to see David Foley Jr.?
Yep, and I made sure what days because actually I'm glad I did reach out to David because I know he won't be in the week that I was gonna go
Oh,
because of the his son's birthday. Yeah, baby.
little
Um,
Davy. So David Foley Jr., who we are talking about, is our great friend. He worked with me at Brandy's, and he'll come back. I'm sure when he's done with this tour, which could either end in August or if it gets extended, it's even longer. But is one of the leads in the show. He plays the theater owner, and he is just touring the country right now. Melissa Manchester, who's one of my favorite songwriters, plays Fanny Bryce's mom. And he said that the other night she did this amazing thing because they were in Los Angeles. After the show, she changed and went out and did a few numbers as Melissa Manchester. Can
wow.
you imagine what a treat that must have been for the audience?
I don't think I'm gonna get to see her in Costa Mesa, but I'm hoping
N-
she's there.
She's incredible, and just nothing but I was privy to a rehearsal they had. The last rehearsal they had was not a dress. I'm sorry, last rehearsal they had before they went out on tour, and Dave invited me, and I went and I was blown away. Everyone was incredible. Everyone. And the girl who plays the lead, who's like relative unknown, oh my
She
God.
sounds great.
And she does all that Fanny Bryce slapsticky goofiness. That's what she was known for, you know? Do you remember when we had Myrna Goldberg on, Liz's mom?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yes.
she told this great story. Myrna's probably in her, I'm going to say late 70s,
Hmm.
maybe. And she said that when she was a kid, her dad was a taxi driver, and he used to pick up Fanny Bryce every night. He was her driver.
Wow.
Can you imagine? And she used to tell him things, like she would just like, be sad that her husband wasn't around, or she'd talk about the show. Can you imagine what that man could have written a book, right? The cab drivers, Uber drivers, the stories that you hear, it's really cool.
I keep whenever I think of Fanny Bryce and people that perform then I always think of their eyes because their eyes were so expressive on stage and they had to show the whites of their eyes and roll their eyes and such and I I, I don't know that we have the knowledge in actors nowadays that could do what those performers, those vaudevillian, those burlesque performers of
Unbelievable,
the 20th
right?
century. They were
So
amazing.
now, John Pietero, thank you, John, for reminding me. And then I want to go to John uh, Bronson sent me a review of some of the shows he's seen. But okay, John, I'm glad this came up because I am going to talk about it as it gets closer. So he says, "Hey Maria, how about a quick save the date for the special Pride celebration at local?" John, I didn't realize it was open to the public. I thought it was just 802 people, but this is wonderful. So put this in your book. June 27th, which is a Thursday, 6:30 to 9:30 at local 802, which is the Musicians Union, which I believe, John, type in the address. I want to say it's 43rd Street between 8th and 9th. They have like a little auditorium in there. And yes, okay. And they're having an LGBTQ celebration of musicians and
For Pride
singers,
Month?
and yeah, and it's LGBTQIA, so it's covers a lot, and it's a jazz. So it's a 90-minute jazz set, and so we have one of the singers. Anthony Fett is one of the singers.
Oh yay.
Lavinia is one of the singers.
Hey.
Right?
Will she be sober by then?
No, and Lynn Portis is our musical director and piano player. She's an A because she's a P flagger, right? And so she'll be, and then my great friend Sherry Miracle, incredible from Diva Jazz Orchestra, is the drummer. And John, today Sherry and I were texting about a bass player, an 802. And so she gave me two great names that I'm going to reach out to. And Lori is tending bar. What? Oh, okay. So John just said 322 West 48th Street. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we'll get all that to you, and I'll actually put it up. We'll get some kind of a little poster going, and we'll put it up on our wall. John, so nice to know that it's open to everybody, but it's a Pride Month event, and there's a chamber music right before us, and then it's this jazz 90-minute set, and it's going to be incredible. And I am so honored that John asked, and we're pulling it together. It's
My
gonna be,
imagination is taking me to Lori tending bar with a little bit of water, and then a little bit of soda, and then maybe just a little bit of alcohol, while she's talking to the person. And I'm thinking that maybe everyone's going to have a really good time, and then she might shake it around just to make sure, and then put it in the, oh, darn it, and figure, then here's your drink.
there you
That
go.
kind of, maybe?
I don't
Lori?
know. Listen. I'm in no position to judge. I don't know. I've never. I'm a bartender, but I'm going to be doing other things. Lori's. I trust Lori. John says, and guest speakers. Wow. Yep. Susan Campanero, Anthony Fett, and me. We're the singers, and Lynn Portis, Sherry Miracle, and we have two bass players that I'm reaching out to this week. So it's going to be great. Anyway, so put that in your calendar, Thursday night, June 27th, because Pride Month will be upon us before you know it. Hey,
There's no city that does Pride Month the way,
Like-
I've been to all three big cities: San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York.
yep, absolutely. So listen,
By experience, I have to say New York does the whole month full
Wait.
out.
yeah, speaking of months, it's still April, right? It is still April.
One more day.
So who is our calendar person of April? G. Enrique. This is our nothing but the apron calendar. And already next year is filling up. Filling up. So G has the same birthday as Shakespeare. Hence,
Alas, G. Enrique. We knew
G-
him well. We know
Yeah.
him well.
yes, we do. And I love G. G's an amazing musical director, month, which is a
Isn't
couple
that-
days
The
away.
wind blows in for May, right?
Yeah. A wind blows in from May from across the pond. Oh, there he is. Oh my God. Paul Filburn, who is my friend Catherine's son, and our friend Sally Filburn, who's a great artist. They were on the show. Oh my God. They stayed up till 4 a.m. to be on our show. And
were so good.
they're so great. He said, I want to be in the calendar. So I said, Paul, give me I sent him an apron, and there he is. So that is Paul Filburn showing us his buns, as he said.
Strategically placed, I might add.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. His buns are blocking his buns.
I was trying to, but I can't see around the buns.
Right. But anyway, so that is what you if you want a calendar, I still have a few. So they are $10, and it's not just about keeping dates. It's also that every single month has a hottie, and some months have two hotties. And you know what I always say? It's only $10 for the calendar, which that's every year. Yeah. So actually, if you're someone that's a collector and you want other years, I have a couple of copies of each year. Not a lot, but I do have some of the old archived. And man, we get some serious hotties on all these calendars. So anyway, let me. Oh, Rick, speaking of hottie, Mr. June has joined us. Rick Sudi Caritas. Nice buns. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what I think. So now let me go to what John Bronston said, because John and Frank, his husband Frank, have literally seen everything. They see every show you can imagine. So he said, appropriate, because appropriate is a play that is up for best play. He said, appropriate is brilliant. Both Sarah Paulson and Corey Stroll are amazing in it. The play is the most surprising show I have seen in years. Polly was the most laugh out loud show. Pearly was the most laugh out loud show I saw last year. And Leslie Odom Jr. and Carrie Young both deserve to win Tonys.
Merrily We Roll Along is a triumph of directing. Illinois has the most beautiful choreography of the season and probably the best orchestrations. Amber Iman in Limpika is giving the best sung performance of the season. That is from John Bronston. John Bronston is not just a musical director um, in the cabaret scene. He doesn't just work in piano bar. He also has conducted on Broadway and works on Broadway steadily. And about a month ago, he was conducting at Lincoln Center. And I said to him on the mic, I said, so this guy won't tell you, but I'll tell you, he was conducting at Lincoln Center. And that day, I think I was at like Costco. You know, like some people do amazing things and some people are just doing their, So giants walk among us. And John Bronson is one of those giants, but he'll never tell you he's a giant, but he is.
And isn't Lempicka is very controversial, isn't it? It is.
Yes. And Judy saw it with a couple of her friends a few nights ago. And it's quite beautiful and quite controversial. It's I won't tell you too much about it, but Eden Espinosa is the lead, and she's incredible. She was in Brooklyn. She originated the role in Brooklyn, and then this Amber Iman is also in Limpika, and I don't want to give it away, but it's
Well, I can read what it says with that.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This New York Times critics' pick is a sweeping musical portrait of a woman who changed art and culture forever, spanning decades of political and personal turmoil, and told through a thrilling pop-infused score. Lempicka boldly explores the contradictions of a world in crisis. Gee, a woman ahead of her era, like Maria, and an artist whose time has finally come.
Oh my God, that sounds great. Thank you, Leo. You're so cute. Hey, speaking of time has come, I think it's the food section of our show. Now, the food section of our show is called
Go
Get
ahead.
Keep
Keep
Eating,
eating.
and hence the name of our aprons. I mean our book and all this stuff. That's the whole
Tell-
thing. Go ahead, keep eating. Now, because I wasn't home, my refrigerator is on the fritz. And that's the bad news. The good news is I'm getting a new one. Thank you. And I'm excited about a new refrigerator
All
because
that sauce.
you're not kidding. I am someone that's hard on my stuff. I'm hard on my cars. I'm hard on my shoes. I'm hard on my clothes. And I'm hard on my fridge because I cook almost every day. I cook a lot. During COVID, I started a sauce business quite by accident. And that has continued. So my refrigerator gets a workout. So tonight, what did I do? I couldn't cook, but I'm in Jersey because I'm at Judy's house. And I had a hankering for an eggplant parm sandwich.
Ooh.
Yeah, look at that.
Close up. Hold on. Yummy. Oh.
Look at that. I already split it in half. I pulled a Leo and took a bite out of it. So that's already, look at how beautiful that is.
It would be gone by now if it was.
Oh my
me.
God, I took a bite out of it. I was so hungry. And yeah, I can't wait to eat that.
That
And
looks so good. Where did you get that from?
a place called Pizza Club in Rizzo. You have to see Rizzo's face. I wish you could see it. She's like, hold on, let me see if I can look at Rizzo. She's like, what?
I heard
Eggplant?
your food. There was food. I heard food. Mom.
Look at it. Look at Rizzo. Yeah, she's Rizzo. Here, I'll give you the bread. I'll give you a little piece of bread. She saw me rip that bread and she was like, she's
Like
no,
me when you
she's
said
just like
food.
me. She hears food being ripped off yeah. She's got that hydraulic ear when it comes to food or smell. But anyway, so I got that, and it's a place called Pizza Club. It's pretty cool, and it's on the same. I think it's called Edgewater Commons. It's on River Road, right next to my favorite sushi restaurant called Sushi Cruise. I want to give them a shout out. They know me. They know me so well. I order from them so much that they know my voice. They're great. But anyway, so that's what and then for dessert, no salad tonight because I just ran out of time. But my dessert tonight is baklava. Isn't that delicious? So baklava, is it's phyllo. It's very specific to Greece, Turkey, Middle East, Lebanon, all that section of the world.
It's phyllo dough, cinnamon, sugar, usually pistachios, and
and,
Or a
and
walnut, depending,
yep, and honey,
and honey. That's right.
and lots of honey. And I personally am a huge fan
I
of.
love baklava, but it's got to
Oh
be
my god,
nutless. I have
I
to
know
find the
that's
right
the
one.
well. Some of them are. So you have
Mhm.
to ask. Leo is one of these friends of ours that's allergic to, as is Frenchie, allergic to nuts, and so you got to be careful.
Except you
Uh,
guys. You guys are cool. I love you. You're
well,
fine.
we're assorted fruits and nuts.
I don't know.
That's what we are, assorted fruits and nuts, and I love that.
I have a couple of things that we should that we didn't mention yet. If you
Yeah, please.
well, our friend Carolyn Montgomery, she's
Yes.
got her show coming up, and I have that.
Oh
Let
my
me
God, we
bring that
love
up.
Carolyn Montgomery.
If you've got to see this show, and I've heard it, I've seen it by chance. Um, this is her.
I love Carolyn. She's
Her
so
website.
sweet and she's so talented.
Very talented, very funny. She just finished her date at um with her show of Rosemary Clooney, Girl Singer, and she just
Yeah.
did a performance at Crazy Cox in London, and she's May
Yes.
22nd. She's gonna be at 54 Below.
Wow,
And
that's a
there's a
big
little bit.
deal. Crazy Cogs is in London, and
Yeah,
that's a big deal. Because I think that's a fairly big club.
and she's doing some Rosemary
Love
Clooney.
never made a fool of you.
I love her voice.
You've always been.
And she's hilarious.
She is hilarious. And isn't she the president of the American Songwriters Association?
American Songbook Association. Yep.
Right. Songbook
Yep.
Association. There it is. Which, by the way, I wasn't, not that I forgot about this, but I should have uh, given you something. Maybe next week we'll do a little tribute. But our friend, all of our friend, Peter Levy, who was the editor and ran the Cabaret Scenes magazine. He wasn't just
Just
that guy.
passed away.
Yeah, he just passed away. He was 95. But I got to tell you, I saw him as like last year. He was always supporting anything I did. That man was there. And he would also come to the piano bars. Not just me, he did it for all of us. He was one of those amazing angels that came to everything everybody did. And he was so happy to be there. He was almost giddy to be there. And so he would sit and have his little drink and watch us perform and be beaming. So much so that you were like, maybe I'm doing something right. Because he was someone that you respected his opinion. So when you would see him beam, you felt like you did something. That
Aw.
was, yeah. He was such a lovely, lovely, lovely man. And he passed away a few days ago at the age of 95. And God's speed, may he get the best seat in the best theater in the best part of heaven. Because
I
boy, does he deserve it.
I just helped Carolyn put up a she did a Dear Mr. Levy, I am,
Yes.
and she just put that up, and she was devastated. A lot of people were devastated, so I hope he rests in peace.
He was such, you know what it was? You didn't realize he was 95 because he was super like active. He was a gentleman. He was very cute, very good looking guy. He dressed beautifully and he would go to all these different clubs. So he was someone that you would see all the time, like out and about. And I don't associate that with a 95-year-old, you know?
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know. But he was very active, and then he would always give you a kiss goodbye and say, "You're doing great, kid." He just always made you feel so good, you know. And then he would be on his way. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to Peter Levy, who I'm sure is watching. And speaking of angels, you know, like that's why tonight. I wanted to talk about you don't have to be a performer to love the arts, and you don't have to be a performer to support the arts. As a matter of fact, thank God that people support the arts because we performers usually are working on the same nights, or you know, we can't always get there or whatever, or we don't always have the money to go to everything. But thank God for our spectators and the theater goers that continue to give us a reason to get on stage, you know. So
I have
anyway,
I have another little announcement. I have two more, if you allow
yes,
me.
please,
We have some
please.
stuff coming up that I didn't realize, and now that Rick is on there, so you know our buddy Rick Sudi Caritas is not only a songwriter, but he's also a book writer
Yes.
and a screenwriter as well. And he's going to have his book coming out in the next month.
Oh my
And
God.
we're in cahoots to actually do a book launch on the
What?
StreamYard. So we'll actually do this next month. So keep
Oh
your eyes
my
open.
God. That is so cool.
So
Coming in May.
we'll be
We have to
releasing
get
that.
yeah. Oh my God. So we got a couple of things coming up in May. We're gonna have the uh Mama's Boys are gonna join us.
Oh,
Either
they're back!
yeah,
Yay!
they're back. They're doing an 80s show, I think, either next week or the week after. And my friend Stephanie Greco, who I went to high school with, and her son, Valentine Howell, who was on Chopped. He was one of the
Okay.
chefs on Chopped. So they're going to join us close to Mother's Day, either next week or right after Mother's Day. And we're going to do like a Mother's Day tribute show. So mother and son. That's going to be really cool. So I'm waiting to hear back who's taking which week. So
Are
that's
you gonna get a basket with ingredients and then make them go in your kitchen?
oh my God, I don't know. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But
That would
it's
be
gonna
fun.
yeah, it's gonna be a really cool both of those shows will be really cool. But well, let's get Rick on as well
You hear
on
that, Rick? Pay
one of
attention.
those shows. Let's and then May 21st is my birthday. So we have to have a birthday show. I don't know if I'm gonna have a party at my house. I might. Now that I know the refrigerator's coming, I'm excited about that. So I may have a little get together and then we can all zoom into the show. Um, you
Isn't our
know,
anniversary? Isn't it what's the story with Maria's anniversary coming up soon?
July 18th,
July 18th.
which will be how many years, Leo? It's going to be 7
It's gonna be 7.
because 300 and it'll be like 350 or 360 shows or
Well,
something.
we're at
Six,
346
six.
now.
Yeah. So 6 shows. Yeah. Yeah. 6 years. It'll be our 6th year.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Hey,
That's
at
great.
7th year. I think we're in our 7, no?
Going into our 7th year.
There
Yeah.
you
We'll
go.
be going into our 7th year. But anyway,
Woo-hoo!
okay. So let's see. Did I miss anything? Miss anybody?
Well, I just had one last thing. If anyone wants to
Yes, please.
join tomorrow night, you can join me on WFMU.org as I listen to my buddies Lori and John.
I love that.
First of the month. Woohoo!
I
So,
love that.
and a little birdie told me that I went down and I met Jill Crozen this week,
No,
actually.
this is
Into the
crazy. So
future.
can you? Yes, please show it. So and then you have to
Let's see if I have
explain
that.
who the Jill is.
Jill Crozen is a downtown rocker from back in the day who's got some great songs. And I think I brought, what did I do with it? Did I do with it? There it is. And as I went to go down to pick up my Carito is back in my possession now, my friends. I was in an accident a couple months ago, weeks ago, about a month ago, and now my car is back. So when I went down to pick up
Oh,
my
that's so
car,
great.
I stopped by to see a fellow listener of WFMU, Miss Singer Rocker Jill Crozen. There we are. in the
Okay,
picture.
this is such a cool story because explain to everybody how you met Jill on the feed. Like
On the feed,
people,
yep.
yeah, like people will type in here and they don't know each other in person, but they know each other from the show. That's what Leo and Jill were on the FMU show that Lori and John do, right?
Mhm. Yep. And so she's also a great singer and a great rocker. She's got some great sounds from the downtown scene. And so I have 2 of her CDs now.
Wow.
And she's really great. She's so sweet. Oh, I give her a big hug. And so on John and Lori's show, WFMU, on WFMU.org, Sheena's Jungle Room, beneath the underground, and we just did eccentric behavior last week because it was the end of the month. But these 2 wonderful people give us great music and great history, and there's a little section you can type in, kind of like when we started with Maria. And so I'm just there listening to the music, and I got to chat with some of the other people, and I found out that one of our listeners lives down the mountain from me. And so
Unbelievable.
as I
What
was
a
going to pick up my
tiny,
car,
tiny world.
it is,
It's a tiny world.
and she's so sweet.
And Leo's in California. It's not like he's around the corner. I mean,
Right.
think about that. And she's down the mountain from him. That's crazy.
So
Um,
it's about like where my car is. If you look at any, if you're on Grinder, it'll say that you're only 10 miles away from somebody, but you have to go around the mountain and down the mountain. So really, to get
oh,
to Palm Springs, it's not 10 miles as the crow flies. Yes, but as your car drives, no, you got to go around. It's about an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes, depending on traffic. So,
really?
and then you got to, yeah. Are you a mountain driver? Do you enjoy driving on mountains?
Not really. I mean,
Because
I've done it, but it's not my favorite thing.
it's not my favorite. I get very white knuckled on certain
Yeah, me
roads.
too. In Italy,
I've never had it.
we drove around a lot on mountains with those little car a stick shift, and I
Are
drive
you
a
on
stick
the
shift.
what side of the road are you on in
No,
Italy?
it's the same as ours.
Okay,
It's not
okay.
like England where you're on the other side, but
Just
it's
more
a stick
passionate
shift.
drivers?
Yeah, it's a stick shift, and they go a lot faster.
Oh, yeah. I do
Y
love stick shift.
I love a stick shift. I really do. I love a
But
stick
anyway,
shift.
so I went and drove by, and really quickly before I had to come back up to work, I stopped by and met with Jill and gave her a hug and came back up. It was really
It's
cool.
so wonderful. I love that. Okay, so we have come to the end of our show. I do apologize we didn't have a guest, but it was one of those weeks where everybody had conflicts. But we wanted to talk about the Tonys. We did. Um, please, whatever you want to see, go see it. It doesn't matter. Just go see a show. Get out of your head. Turn off the news. I look. I'm a news junkie.
Me too.
I am a news junkie. But there are days that I refuse to turn on the news because it's overwhelming. So that doesn't mean that I tune out completely. I'm very socially conscious, but sometimes you need a break. And you know what? A play is a great idea. A musical, oh my God. Even just watch a movie. Even just that's it. Do something that's not just the news. And so that's what entertainment is there for.
Yeah, and if Broadway's not your style, go see a cabaret show. Go listen to somebody
There's a
else's story
million
and
of them.
identify.
And if you don't want to leave the house, watch a great old black and white.
Oh yeah,
I highly recommend Days of Wine and Roses, but there's a
Angels
lot
on
of
the Outfield has been my local favorite.
oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, Leo, thank you for everything you do.
Mwah, I love you.
You are the greatest. I don't know what I'd do without you. Everybody, thank you. We love and appreciate you. And we will see you next week. Thanks for keeping us company this week. And by next week, I'll have a new refrigerator.
Woohoo!
Woo is right.
More
Bye.
sauce.